Angelie, and this is my first video I'm actually posting for my YouTube channel, so I'm pretty excited. I decided that I was going to do a throwback tag video for my first one, so you guys can get to know me a little better. What year was I born? I was born in the year 2000, and I recently just turned 15, so I'm one of the youngest in my class, but don't worry, I'm really mature for my age. I don't have any pictures of myself from when I was younger. I have one picture, and it's from preschool. It's like from our scrapbook, so there's me, right there. Yeah. What TV shows did I grow up watching? I grew up watching Hey Arnold, SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Danny Phantom. He was my cartoon crush, by the way, don't judge me. Jimmy Neutron, Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and That's a Raven. Even Steven, some other stuff that I can barely remember, but it's there, you know. Those early 2000-ish, late 90-ish shows, kind of. When I was younger, I wanted to be a veterinarian because I loved animals, but that changed with time, and I found out I don't like science that much, so I'm not going to be a good veterinarian ever, so that's not for me. I want to be an advertiser now, so because I like writing, and it's really interesting for me to write ads, create them. I like the creative environment, so. Show a video of yourself when you're younger. I don't actually have any videos of when I was younger, so I'm sorry, but I don't know if that makes something wrong with me, but I guess my childhood just wasn't good enough to videotape. My favorite toys to play with were probably, I played with lots of things when I was little. I actually didn't play that much with dolls like other people did. Like, I know I'm not a girly girl, but I did play dress up with my friends occasionally. I played house. I loved house. I don't know why. And I kind of played cowboys with my cousins. Like, I don't know. Like, we just used to get this wooden horse and wear a hat and just like sit on it and pretend we were riding it. And I'm like, how did I ever find that fun? Okay, but I don't know. I found strange things fun when I was a kid, so. What was the most embarrassing thing I can remember doing? The most embarrassing thing I can remember doing is probably I was about 9 years old, and get this, we were really young, so I don't know if it still mattered, but it was embarrassing to me at the time. So I went to the restroom, and I came back, you know, and I was feeling pretty good that day because I had a good day. Things had gone well, you know, first week had gone well, school. This was only the second week of school, let me mention. And I was pretty good. And I walked back into class, and legitimately, people are staring at me. Like, I don't know why. And I'm like, why are people staring at me? And then I looked down at my shoe, and guess what was on it? Toilet paper. Toilet paper stuck to my shoe. And I dragged it all the way across the hall into my class. So that would have made a really good first impression on new people the second week of school. Anyway, it was really embarrassing for me, and I apologized so many times, and I'm like, I don't even remember it being on my shoe, so it was really embarrassing. Read something you wrote when you were in kindergarten. So when we were in kindergarten, we had a journal, so I'm gonna read something I wrote from it. Like, they gave us different prompts and stuff, so I just wrote whatever I could. So I said they wanted us to write what we did that weekend, so I wrote, this weekend, my family and I rode through grass. I don't even know where we were going, or how I wrote that, but all I remember is looking at the grass, and I'm like, Mommy, it's so green. And I'm like, why is it so green? And she's like, because I said so. I'm like, really? Really? That's not a good answer. Like, I just kept bugging her the whole trip, and it was really funny, but. And I just drew a picture of the grass in our house and everything, and I'm like, how did I even draw this? Like, I don't know. I can barely read what I wrote. Like, that's legitimately what I wrote. I barely understood weekend, but I got it. So, next thing on the list is 3 songs you love to listen to as a child. So, what I loved to listen to as a child. Okay, I listened to Candy. I love that song. I Want Candy. Oh my god. Another song I listened to is The Tide is High from the Lizzie McGuire movie. That's another show I remember watching. The Tide is High. Oh my god. I don't even know why I like that song. I just did a lot. Another song I listened to. Obviously the Rugrats theme song, because I kept watching it over and over again and it got stuck in my head. So that's another one I watched a lot. Next thing. What was one funny thing you dressed up for as Halloween when you were younger? I don't even know if it was really funny or more so. It's just like more stupid. Like I remember actually being a tomato when I was 3, and I'm like, a tomato. Did I choose to be that, or did mom make me that? Like, did you think it was cool to be a vegetable for a little kid? I don't know. Like, I legitimately was a tomato when I was 3 years old, and I was walking around with a big circle around me, and I'm like, does this even make sense? Should a 3-year-old be a tomato? I don't know. I don't know how anyone found that cute, but okay. Whatever works, you know. Tell a funny story of something you remember happening when you were young. Funny story when I was young. I remember, I don't know if this is more funny or scary, but, oh yeah, funny story. This is kind of embarrassing too, but when I was younger, I was about 6 years old, and I was walking with my mom in the library, and we were checking out books, and she said she wanted to go check out some books in a different aisle. I'm like, okay, I'm 6 years old, I can take care of myself. So she went out there and to check other books, and I went to this woman who I found later, and she had the same exact hair as my mom, so I'm like, hey mom, can we go home now? And she's like, she turned around and I'm like, it wasn't my mom, so it was really embarrassing. I'm just like, no, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. And I saw my mom in a different checkout line, and I'm like, oh mom, there you are. And she's like, I've been here the whole time, honey, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I had a mix up. It's really funny. Are there any special things you kept from when you were a child? So, special things. I haven't really kept many special things from when I was a child, but this is my life when I was 8 years old. This DS light. I've obviously kept it still because it is one of my favorite things to this day. When I got it from as a kid. I got it for my birthday, and I've never lost it, so it's one of the things I've kept from when I was a kid, a few things. So I'm happy, still have it. I can still play with it if I want to. So, Yoshi's Island never gets old, just saying. And what was something weird you used to do as a kid? Something weird I used to do as a kid. I did a lot of weird things as a kid, so this isn't exactly weirdish, but, there were lots of animals outside our house when I was younger, and I loved them, so I basically captured earthworms and other snails and stuff in a jar kept with dirt, and I kept them as pets because my mom wouldn't allow me to have other pets, so I basically got them as pets, and like whenever they died, I would put the dirt back or something and bury them, and then I would get more pets from, I don't know, the grass or whatever. I'd find more worms and be like, oh yay, more worms, and then I'd replace them as soon as they were dead, and I'm like, should I be replacing them so quickly now that I think about it? Like, it just makes me a freak, but okay. It's just one of the few weird things I used to do as a kid, so not exactly normal, but you know, I was a pretty weird, messed up child, so. What's the scariest thing you remember that happened to you when I was younger? The scariest thing. I've had plenty of scary experiences, but one of them stands out. Like, I was 7 years old, and I was in Home Depot with my mom, and we were shopping, and I was in the sink section, and I found sinks fascinating for some reason, so I just kept looking at the faucet, and I'm like, this is silver, and it's so pretty. And then I remember turning around, and my mom was gone, and so I'm just like, oh my god, where is she? And I remember looking in all the aisles, everywhere. I retraced my steps, and I'm like, I legitimately cannot find her. And so I went back to the front of the store thinking that she'd be there, right? And then I saw a car outside the window, and it looked exactly like our car. I'm like, Mom, you can't leave without me. I can't be stuck here. I'm too young. And then I'm like, I just ran back to the front desk, like to the front, and I saw the checkout people, and I'm like, my mom's gone. Please help me. And I was like crying and everything, and it was really embarrassing. And they gave me a balloon, and they're like, we'll find your mom. Don't worry. I'm like, she left already. And so then they immediately started like going on the loudspeaker, and they're like, if anyone can claim this child here right now, like please step forward. And I just like said my name, and they obviously mispronounced it, so it was even more awkward. And then my mom finally came after like 5 minutes. I'm like, where were you? She's like, in the section right behind the sink section. I'm like, I did not see you there. I like legitimately went to all the other sections, and you were not there. And I went to the front of the store, and I saw your car going. And I'm like, how? How did this happen? Like, I could have saved myself a lot of trouble, you know, if you just told me that at the beginning. Anyway, it was a pretty weird, embarrassing, but funny experience at the same time, so it's pretty scary though, because I could have ended up on a milk carton, and it would have been horrible. How is the world different from how it was like when you were a child? It's pretty different, you know? I'd say the advancement in technology has gone pretty far, and nowadays kids are like getting phones at like 7, when I barely had a toy phone at 7, you know? Technology's going so far, and kids are getting phones and iPads, and they're being exposed to technology at a younger age, and I feel that's good, you know, so they can be more tech savvy and all that. But I feel at the same time they're missing out on their childhood, you know? They don't play hide and seek anymore. They don't go out anymore, feel the fresh air. They're just inside watching TV or playing on their iPhones all day. And I feel like that's not a good way for kids to live when they're younger. Go outside, have some fun, be a kid. Get dirty, it's okay. You know, we grew up, we did that, we survived. It's okay. Go ride bikes, get your knees scraped up. Just like go outside, you know? It's perfectly normal. Like, I feel if you didn't go outside when you were a child, you did not have a legitimate normal childhood. You just didn't. So, but maybe that's just me because I'm old. But anyway, that's the throwback tag, and that's the throwback tag for right now. And next week I'll be doing a different video soon. Maybe a back to school one, since I'm going back to school soon. Okay. Bye guys.